When I say apex, you know what I'm talking about? Apex of the heart?
The tip on bottom.
The tip. Okay, this would be the base, apex. The apex of the heart is always the left ventricle. Always, always, always. Okay? And so that makes this the left atrium, left auricle or atrium. Okay, left ventricle, then that makes this part the right ventricle. And then the right atrium. But the key to the whole identification is remembering that the apex is the left ventricle. When you're doing a post, it's not called an autopsy. If we're doing a cat, anyone know what it's called? I'd be impressed if you do.
Chronopsy.
It's not an autopsy. That's a cat we're doing it. By definition, an autopsy is a post-mortem exam on a specimen of the same species. Hence the name autopsy. Normally you do have clotted blood in the right ventricle, because as the blood clots at post-mortem, we learned is the aortic arch. This book has a different name for it. It gives off two main branches. Okay. Now, why they're not called the right and left subclavian, I'm not quite sure, but they're not. The first branch you come to, or the first branch the blood would come to, okay, is known as the innominate artery. You don't need a right and left for that, because there it is. Okay, whenever there's a vessel on the right and left, okay, on the test I need you to tell me right and left, because I want you to get into the habit of right left. So at some point in the future, the artery comes up, and then where the common carotid, left common carotid artery, it's not the left, yes it is the left. Where the left common carotid artery comes off, okay, the major vessel changes names. Okay, it's then the subclavian artery, the right subclavian artery. Okay, so from here to there would be the right subclavian artery. And when it gives up off the right common carotid, and the size of these vessels, please don't put any meaning into that, because that's just me drawing. After it gives off the right common carotid, then it becomes the axillary artery. Okay. And that's as far as I took it, I think, on your assignment sheet. But once it gets outside the body, it becomes the brachial artery, the right brachial artery. Once that same artery emerges from the body, from the chest cavity, brachial artery. Okay. Good so far? You be with me? Okay. Come back here to the second branch, which leaves the aortic arch or the systemic arch, is the left subclavian. Now in this case we have to call it left because there is a right subclavian. Left subclavian, and then it arches up, it gives off three little vessels whose names you're not responsible for, but after it does that, it becomes the axillary, the left axillary artery. And then outside of the body wall, it's the left brachial artery. Looks much like the word artery. Like me, I'm going to call it that. First branch is the innominate. It branches into the left common carotid, and it's in the right subclavian. Okay, you catch that? Left common carotid, right subclavian. Right subclavian branches into the right common carotid and the axillary. Axillary artery, as it continues out of the chest wall into the front limb, becomes the right brachial artery. Okay? Second branch from the systemic arch, left subclavian artery. It arches up, gives off three smaller vessels that we're not considering. At that point, it becomes the left axillary artery. As it exits the body wall and continues out into the front limb, becomes the left brachial artery.